Welcome everybody to Three Kobolds Gaming as we play through our Heroes of the Absalom, apparently. Heroes of Absalom campaign. Modified version
Go
of
like
Agents.
3 kg, but then like there was no good time for it. So
3 kg on 3? No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
3 kg on K.
Welcome back after our little break. I want to start off with a little discussion. Actually, I want to start off with an announcement. Please join us on Wednesday, what is that? The 15th at 7 o'clock on this channel as we continue our playthrough of Wrath of the Righteous, the brand new Pathfinder video game. We are currently trying to save a city from a demon invasion, and it's going. So join us there. Myself and Emily Grace will be there. Hopefully I can convince Jack to finally join us. We can have some fun discussion about first edition, the brand new game, and how everything compares to second edition, and just some of our experiences with streaming, some of our experiences with roleplay games in general. It's a lot of fun. We have fun.
we do indeed.
Next up, however, I wanted to start off with a little discussion. It's a topical discussion. It's about player character deaths.
All right. Yeah. Topical. Well, all right. This is out of the blue.
We'll get to why it's topical a little bit
For no
later
reason at all.
in the segment.
There's no reason whatsoever.
But throughout the history of role-playing games, and especially like high fantasy D&D style, which Pathfinder is a derivative of, player character death has fluctuated from being exceptionally common to frowned upon, and now it really depends on what group you play with. For instance, Jack, as my first edition GM, has killed more of my personal characters in the past 1 year than total characters I've killed in the past 3.
And I've killed the fewest of Will's characters of any of the PCs in that game that I GM.
Yeah.
Not true. You've only killed one of my characters.
That's true. That's
Well,
fair enough.
he kicked
That's
you
fair
out, so
enough.
it's still counts.
Yeah, you're not in that campaign anymore, Ben.
You can't sit with us anymore.
I'm not bitter about it.
I killed 3 each of 2 other players as character. Characters just die all the time in my campaigns.
But as you all have seen here,
You'll want to guest
we finally
your game and like die at like 5 minutes in.
we finally had our first character death.
Yeah.
Very difficult encounter. But even throughout the entire, and that was like what, 30-something episodes? This is 34. But even throughout the entire 1.5-year long campaign that I played with this group prior to streaming, no characters died. So I want to hear you guys' opinions, not Ben, because he's dead.
So rude.
What do you guys think? Obviously, I'm going to have my own opinions, but Dan and EG, what do you guys think about, Pathfinder character death, especially in this campaign and in other campaigns we played?
I dread it, but that dread is part of what makes the combat so exhilarating and interesting, and your character so valuable. I think it gets really hard when you as a player have all of these plans in store for your character like down the road, and then like that like crushing reality that like you're not going to get to see those fulfilled through that character because they died.
Right.
But if you don't plan too far ahead like your girl, then that doesn't happen as much. But
I honestly think it's unearned death for the DM, and mostly because it's like we've always joked about it. It's so hard to kill a player character in 2E.
Yeah.
But like when we're finally facing a really tough boss like where we're at right now, along with like other mini bosses coming at us from the flank, like it just sometimes you just get overwhelmed and unfortunately casualty occurs.
Yeah, I think that having your first PC death in a book 1 boss is perfectly acceptable. Like it's what the system and the adventure kind of expects, I think.
Especially when you have two characters who are healers.
It could have been any of us. It really could have. Like,
Honestly.
Master got put down, Twinkle Toes was getting mauled. If Kashak didn't climb up a wall, like, he was going to go down. You kind of walk into the book one boss thinking to yourself, like, one of us might not come out. One or two of us might come.
Yeah, fight's not over.
I need to interject.
Ben, your thoughts.
I just need to say something. I feel like it's easy for those of you still alive to be like, oh yeah, no, one boss, someone should have died there. Yeah, like that makes sense, you know. Like, so I knew someone was gonna die, right? Like, and it just happened to be. You wouldn't be singing the same tune if it was your character. I
It
promise
doesn't
you
make
that.
it easier. It doesn't make it easier to deal with, and it's certainly, like Emily Grace was saying, I dread it as a player who gets very, very attached to the characters that I build and creates worlds around them. I love every single one of the characters I've ever played, and so to think about them dying is horrifying. But like, it's just like that's the adventurer's life, to keep it canonical. You know what I mean? To be in their shoes, like they signed on for this. You don't walk into death-defying situations multiple times a day and think to yourself, "Yeah, I want to retire and have a house at 55." It's like that's not. You didn't sign on for that life. You didn't. You should have been an accountant if you wanted to do that. That's. You know, like, and so it's complicated because like it is what makes this game interesting, the threat of that kind, like the stakes that are raised,
Enemy doom.
the stakes that are raised by the presence of death all the time, or the presence of vast consequences for your mistakes, is what makes this game kind of exciting and changes it from like a video game where you would just respawn all the time with the same character, and then puts it into this like kind of hard mode, very high stakes, very high energy place that this game is in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, it varies from table to table too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Will's a lot crueler than most GMs, and it only gets crueler as you go around the circle of the people here.
Well,
I don't even know about that. I don't ever think of Will as a cruel GM, but that also might speak volumes.
My experience is very limited with GMs,
yeah.
so
I did in fact kill one of Emily Grace's characters with a
in my
T-Rex at level 2.
session.
I always think that like no one is there's not such a thing as a cruel GM, especially in Pathfinder. I think that what brings people to Pathfinder is that the rules dictate the storytelling, and so fudging dice rolls to me is like a cardinal sin. If you fudge a dice roll in a game as a GM, I don't consider you to be a good GM at all. I think that's just kind of lame in general. Just let the dice tell the story. Let the story happen how it is. You know, if that guy swings that axe and you roll a natural 20 on that, like that's on the player for not being in that position or not being where they're supposed to be. That's just, and that's just my opinion. Like Will said, like it changes from table to table, especially in game systems. I know 5th edition can be a little bit more lenient than Pathfinder on some of the rules or some of the like hard determinations, but it's all kind of up in the air. And it all depends on
Jack's stance on this is how he justifies being so cruel to his players.
Maybe it is. I don't even know. Like
It's your fault for not seeing the future.
that axe was coming down in your head whether you were there or not. I don't know what to say about it.
Well, I think one of the most important aspects though is making sure that you are playing with people who are on the same page with you about character death.
Yeah.
Because it
can ruin friendships.
It can be really unfortunate. I still hate Jack for killing my all-time favorite character literally 3 months ago. But, you know, here we are, still playing games together.
So my question is, like, have you guys played in a campaign or with some friends that, like, were really not cool with death? Like, were really not cool with PCs dying? Like, they kind of wanted to play that easy mode, cruise through the game kind of game? Has anyone ever...
I don't want to say easy mode. I don't think easy mode is...
A great little
descriptor.
anecdote for this, actually. I played in a campaign in college. It was a fantastic campaign, one of my all-time favorites I've played in. It was like a modified 5th edition trek through the layers of hell.
You told me about this game before. Yeah,
and I think I might have shared this story with at least you, Jack, but there was a moment where my character, I was playing a druid, my character should have died. I rolled 3 consecutive natural 1s on a series of events. My character should have died. And through some, like, DM manipulation, my character didn't. And thinking about that moment now, like it cheapens the memory in my mind, because I know the only reason my character lived was because like there were things outside of the game that like were done to make sure my character survived. Like the narrative should have had my character die.
It goes against like
and it like cheapens the memory for me a little bit.
Yeah, it goes against like
memories of the campaign, but yeah, it just cheapens it a little bit.
You think about like your TV tropes where it's like, oh, how are they gonna get out of this one? And then they do, and it's like you can
like
believe that or not. Yeah, like you can believe in whatever narrative device that they chose, but at least there is a narrative device that's in place to make it happen, right? If it's just like this guy got shot in the head, but then doesn't die because I said so. Like that's not how that works.
Right.
But it's like this guy takes an arrow to the neck, but then like they have the one item that they needed to save that, or like there's a spell on them that they like know how to save because of this experience. Like that's different than just like life didn't end because I said so. And so it's just, again, it's all about what game you want to play, and there's ways to do it without immense character death, and there's ways to do it without those stakes being so high, but if that's the game that you guys want to play, then like freaking do it, man. It's so much fun. Yeah. That's how we like to play. I want to feel pressure every single time I play this game. Single time.
And then there are literally
I love Delta Green.
Oh
yeah.
Don't even start with Delta Green. But then you get the other end of the spectrum where you have like high stakes political intrigue and nobody dies, but that's not the point, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Right. I mean, there's so many different kinds of games you can play with this system, and with other TTRPG systems.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the political intrigue. People aren't really like you can get poisoned, I guess. Like, but that's kind of like lame in its own right. So it's just about being on the same page as everybody else, and that can be hard. Sometimes you have to like check in with your players all the time and make sure that everybody's having a good time, and like you have to kind of be that like needy partner where it's like, am I doing a good job? Are you guys liking the content that I'm making? Like, what are you guys feeling about this? And that can be awkward too. So,
well, you know what else is awkward? Dr. Forsyth's body laying on the ground. As we come back to the Dreaming Palace, let me just set the scene here. You guys have been trekking through this literal torture chamber of undead. You go through these like handmade, like purpose-built undead that like jump out of these bottles and try to, you know, attach to you and suck your blood.
Oh, that was so awful.
That was rough. And then in the next room, you find literal like flayed bodies, like flayed skins that have been animated by the evil necromantic energies of this place. Oh, and one of them got away. Surely that's unimportant.
I'm sure that's fine. I have no concerns about that.
Then you find a room where it's literally a living trash disposal with this ogre jelly. I mean, this guy has his own indoor plumbing with this thing, basically, where he's just got the you know, septic tank that you would toss the body into or whatever, but it's living. It keeps eating the bodies that he tosses in to get rid of evidence.
Yummy.
And then you find a shrine. You find a shrine to, I believe it was
Norgorber, right? But like
I believe it was, yeah.
It was like a slightly off.
It was a
like
perverted version of the holy symbol or unholy symbol of Norgorber. Something
we
that
talk about Norgorber on stream last time. Did we spend time talking about that?
No.
I don't think so,
No,
because I don't really know who he is.
Do you want to do that? Do you want me to do that?
Go ahead, Jack.
Norgorber is, so there's a test, or rather, let me go back here. So Absalom was created by the presence of this magical relic called the Starstone, which fell to Earth, and the god of men, Aroden, put it there and then built this city around it. When you can take what's called the test of the Starstone, which is like you go to this cathedral and you do this trial and you go through like this magical endeavor to try to counter your greatest fears or defeat your greatest weaknesses or whatever you want to think of it. It's different for every person who attempts it. And if you defeat it, you become a god. You literally ascend
You ascend,
to godhood.
yeah.
There are
And if you don't, you die.
If
for
you don't,
sure.
you die. There's lots and lots of people who die, but there's 3 people who've succeeded. It's
Iomade.
Who's the other one besides Norgorber? Caden Kalian, who did
Caden
it.
Kalian. Yeah.
Iomade did it because she's like the divine scion of Araden, and she's like this perfect little angel. Caden Kalian did it.
She's like the Pathfinder Jesus.
Yeah. Caden Kalian did it on a drunken bet and doesn't remember how he did it. And then, which is the greatest story ever told. Like, I want to hear
That's
that
incredible.
in 6 books. And Norgorber did it through, like, he's like the god of assassins and thieves and shadows and like this sort of like subterfuge style combat. And it's like his history is really unknown intentionally. He is like, no one knows how he accomplished the task or where he came from or what his like physical form looks like. He's this very like god of people who do shady stuff all the time.
Yeah. He's the god of assassins, secrets, and thieves. Which is strange, a little bit, because you would think that somebody who is so interested in undead worship would be...
something different.
Would
She's
be
not quite
Urgathoa.
right. Yeah.
Would be a worshiper of Urgathoa, who is, the mistress of death and disease and reanimation. But no. And again, it's not Norgorber. It's some strange
Cult,
offshoot,
almost?
maybe. But that was strange.
Did we look at the hands? Are they copper?
But
it was just a mask, like on a wall, right?
So it is a pit in the ground with spikes, and you look down, and he's got like a prayer rug at the edge of this pit. And right across from it is this mask symbol. And down below, and if you look up, it actually, I'll tell you this out of character, you might have been able to figure it out. That's where Kashak would have gone into this hole if he had fallen through the trap.
A Mwangi trap.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And so you look down, and you just see, like, skeletons that have been impaled. So it's almost like he's, like, praying as the victims are...
being dropped.
Dying in this pit.
It's so weird, because that is very off of Norgorber. It's not wrong, it's just not quite right.
Yeah. And then you find his workshop. You begin to fight, and not only do you fight Pratchett, but he says, his children. And this ghostly creature phases through the wall. These 2 small, look to be like twin gnomish children, hand in hand, almost fused at the hand, in some strange, unholy energy, fused at the hand, who begin to wail and sob and batter at your minds and then lash out at you. While Hendra just walks around and stabs the hell out of you guys. So we're going to jump right back in. Still got the initiative tracker.
Yeah.
Still got the initiative tracker. I've still got everybody's health.
To review, I'm currently being stoked. I have stoke on my character sheet. Is that what our resident witch has also?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's...
I want to interject before we start this combat. I just want to say it's rude that I'm in grayscale right now. I don't appreciate it. And I will get my revenge, Will.
You're welcome. It was my idea.
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Ben, you are my lawyer. Not yet. Correct. Very clear distinction
for those
there.
listening from Catholic law school, he's not pretending to be a lawyer. He's not impersonating a lawyer.
For what it's worth, also this circle around Bastro is his bless radius.
Correct.
So keep that in mind as well.
I can't see that, but if it's on the stream, that's great. Look, people.
Can you not see that?
I can't.
No.
I can see it.
I can't, but I can on the stream.
I can see it, but that's okay.
I wish I could make these auras. I don't know how to make them show.
It's not a big deal. I know it's 15 feet.
Can you see it now?
Kashak, you're in it.
I can see it now. Yeah, actually, I can see it now.
Bet. So, last we left off at the very last moment of combat, In the round prior, Dr. Forsyth had been stabbed by Hendred for a crit, taking him under his hit points and down to dying 2. And just now, he unfortunately rolled a critical fail on his death save, which means that he went down 2 levels of dying to dying 4. Almost in slow motion, Baster, you look to the side and you watch the last ragged breath leave his body as his chest refuses to rise again. Hendred is standing there over him. Sword cane pointed at you, but he just looks down. You see this wicked grin just spread across his face as he looks back up at you.
Piece of shit.
1. And then he goes out to stab at you.
What?
Dirty 20 on the first attack?
Hits exactly.
Hits exactly. Went through all of that and I didn't even open the stat block. But I know what his to hit is by heart because it's too high.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's see here.
You get those statistics with those monsters where you're like, I'll never forget that number because that wasn't right. That was wrong.
That is... Oh, I rolled the wrong die. Ooh. Only 9 points of piercing.
Let's go. That's big.
Minimum damage for you there.
That's big. That's big.
Second attack coming out with the sheath. So he pokes into the thigh, and then he's whipping the sheath of the sword cane around, trying to batter you in the side of the head. Also dirty 20, which also hits.
Give me a break.
Nice.
Roll the exact same thing.
Is the minimum more than a 3?
I suppose you'll find out.
Unconscious.
I've rolled 4 1s on damage dice in a row.
They still got me.
That is going to be also 9 points of bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I am unconscious. Dying 2.
Excuse me. Excuse my language.
Yeah, that's
I'm having fun.
that's no bueno.
Oh man.
And he's going to step over to here. Let me just move Bastro in the initiative order for the second time.
Yeah.
Now, Bastro, remind me, did you have Wounded 1 already?
Yes, I'm dying 2 right now.
Okay. That was Pratchett's turn. Twinkle Toes, you're up.
Hey. Well, he's right next to me, so, I didn't make a note of whether I had panache or not. So I'm just going to assume that I don't. I'm going to take my first action and tumble through.
All right.
I guess I should get out my dice to actually roll this. Got to be that part. That's a 27.
Oh yeah, that'll make it through.
Acrobatics.
That'll definitely
Okay.
make it through.
So I got panache.
Nice. He's
Where's the
flat-footed,
sign?
right?
Yes, and he's flat-footed
And he's flat-footed.
because of my tumble behind feet. Yeah. And
Insane.
I'm gonna do a confident finisher on him.
Okay.
Cocked. It's cocked again. That's a natural 20!
Oh my god.
Roll damage.
Yes.
Hero of Absalom.
Come on, confident
Sure.
finisher. Come on, confident finisher.
Okay, so that's 3d6 doubled.
3d6 doubled. Oh my god.
Okay. I'm sorry, math.
Get after it. Get after it.
18 points of damage.
18. Nice. Nice.
So you stab him like straight in through the thigh, and you just watch as this massive gouge just rips out, pants stretched, just begins bleeding ferociously. He's like limping down to the side now, but he's still up.
Third action, I'm gonna swirl my cape and get that bonus to AC.
Seems reasonable. Seems reasonable. It is now the ghost's turn. It's been chasing you, Kashak, this entire combat.
I was so worried you were going to keep chasing me.
So it's gonna keep chasing you. Because he can fly, or they can fly.
I'm technically on this wall here.
Yes.
I'm up that wall.
Now that we are no longer stacked. But they did have to take a move action to get up there. So it'll just be 2 normal...
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
Ghostly hands. Trying to touch your scaly face. 25 to
That
hit.
hits.
Oh my
That hits.
god.
For 6 points of negative damage.
Okay.
Third action. 22.
That hits.
Okay. For 5 points of negative damage.
Okay.
Are you at like 1 hit point?
I'm in 1 hit point. I had 12 hit points left starting the session.
Y'all need to kill Pratchett, please.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm so scared.
Bro, I'm dead.
Shock, it's your turn.
Okay. He has been laser focused, staring Pratchett down. He's like looking down from this wall that he's on. He's taking these shots in the back from this creature, just like feeling the life force kind of dropping out of him. But he's still stoked from Bastro. He's still in his stance. He's still ready to go. He's gonna have 5 feet across the wall. He is hunted on Pratchett. He's been ready to go. He's gonna take a 5-foot step. He's gonna step that way, and he's gonna 2-action Hunter's Aim Strike. He's gonna cock his bow back, really reel it in, and make it happen. .24. It's like not even close.
Do you want a hero point before I tell you whether it hits or not?
You have the +1, by the way, for bless.
I have the +1 factored.
Okay,
Oh.
good. Okay.
I don't remember what a 24 hit or not.
I'm gonna hero point it.
Okay.
Oh my god, no!
Wild.
I'm gonna hero
It's
point it.
wild hours now.
20. Worse.
That hits, right?
Add hero point economy.
AC
Basically, we just
25.
have to keep it along.
AC 25.
Yeah.
Mm.
Needed the hero point to get there, but bad hero point economy.
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
Bastro?
Yes.
Need you to roll me a death saving throw. You could also heroic recovery.
That's for dying 3. That's for dying 3.
Well, yeah, I'm at dying 3 because I rolled a natural 9.
Okay. So now you're at dying 3.
Yep.
Now it's time to start reading those death and dying rolls.
Again.
If you were to roll next turn and go down to dying 4, you can heroic recovery and go to 0 hit points and be unconscious and nothing. You can just be 0 hit points.
Which is what I'm definitely gonna end up be doing.
You could save next turn and save
Right,
your hero point.
yeah.
But if you were to go down to dying 4, you could use those. You will probably use those. So
That's fun.
this is stressful. I'm upset.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I am anxious as hell.
100 is looking at you, snarling, Twinkle Toes, as you have now gouged a significant portion of multiple parts of his body. I believe you've hit like 2 or 3 confident finishers on him that have been chunks. He just says, "You're next. Don't worry. It'll be over soon."
Try and hit the old man.
Okay. 27.
Yeah, that hits.
He's also not old, by the way. He's like
I know,
36
but, like,
and a half
yeah,
elf, so that's even less.
Yeah, whatever.
13 points of piercing on the rapier. Then the not the rapier, the blade of the sword cane. Now the sheath of the sword cane. 25.
That hits too.
That's 11 points of bludgeoning. Oops, sorry. Wrong character. And then he's going to step up under Kashak. That's his turn. Twinkle Toes, you're up.
Gonna step up. What does the oil of potency do again, and how many turns does it take to
It is
apply it?
It's an action to apply. It makes your weapon a +1 weapon, which your weapon already is.
It already is.
And you have to draw it with an action and then apply it
Yeah.
with the second action.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing now. I'm scrolling through every page of the inventory that I could possibly.
Everything you have. Yep.
Going through every tab.
Ugh. That's the point for it, yeah.
Mama stabby stab.
Stabby stab.
Stabby stabby stab.
Roll to hit.
The 21 on my first hit. I'm gonna swing again. Nope. Miss. That's the end of my turn.
Bindemir floats up. +21 to hit Kashak.
AC 20. I have
We're
one.
going
I have
downtown in an early go round.
1 hit point.
Uh, 15 against Twinkle Toes.
Miss.
So, where do I fall?
I was just thinking about that.
Onto Pratchett.
Yeah, you fall on top of
Knock him prone.
He's right underneath you.
Bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning damage. He's a big fat lizard. That's bludgeoning damage.
I will go to dying 2 if you take 1d6 bludgeoning damage.
No, don't take that.
Well, I would take 1d6 falling from this height.
2d6 bludgeoning damage for 1d6 damage to Kashak. Come on.
Which would just take me to die 2.
Exactly. 2d6 bludgeoning. He's a big lizard.
I am 250 pounds. Not that that has any sort of mechanical
What
meaning.
on
but
top of an elf?
I am a big boy.
Subtraction to Constitution. Come on.
It's your call.
He made the choice to step under him. He knew what he was doing.
Is there anything in the falling rules about falling onto another Another
No.
creature?
There never has been in Pathfinder. They've like pretty specifically left that up for GM.
Believe that if a lizard folk falls on you, you die
You
automatically.
die instantly.
And you also revive any people who have died beforehand as well. So.
Oh wait,
it,
hang
it
on.
does sound like a revive communal kind of
Second edition,
situation.
falling on a creature. If you land on a creature, that creature must attempt a reflex save.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah. Why don't you roll it and find out?
That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all.
Jack is DM now.
It is DC 15, but there's a step. There's a 4 success. There's a 4-step process.
He rolled pretty bad, but he has a good reflex. It's reflex, right?
Yeah, DC 15.
I mean, it's a normal success.
You take bludgeoning damage equal to 1/4 the falling damage that I would take.
And you
So
would take 1d6.
I would take 1d6. Do you want me to roll that, or you want to roll that?
I rolled a 6, but it doesn't matter, so he takes what?
You would take 1.
1 rounded up to 2?
Well, you would, yeah, 1. What's 1/4 of 6? I don't even know. Public education.
So 1.5.
Or
1.5. So if
1.5.
Pathfinder Second Edition rounds up, that's 2 points.
2 points is
Okay,
2
so
points is 2
I go to-
points.
I go to dying 2, actually.
But he's still. You still fall on him, right?
I fall on him.
Alright.
Yeah.
I will say he's prone then, because you are not a small lad.
Yeah. If you want to, that's great.
He'll spend an action to push you off, an action to stand up, and then he'll try to hit Twinkle Toes with his last action.
There's
Yes.
definitely multiple attack penalty on pushing him off.
Not
though.
one. Not one. Natural one. Coming in. Coming in hot. Coming in
That's not how
spicy
that
hot.
works. 19?
Miss!
There it is.
It was a natural 2.
Yeah,
Yes, I
has to
knew
be.
it. I
It
manifested
really
it.
has to be.
You've got
Amazing.
1 turn, Emily Grace.
Come on, come on, come on.
You've got 1 turn.
I'm gonna swing.
Can't imagine.
Wang.
Panache? No panache?
I can't. I mean, like, there's no way for me to get.
My dead body, right? I'm not occupying a square. I'm just like difficult terrain or something, right?
Can't you like flourish your cape?
Yeah,
and
you could
do a
also
little
like dance
That's
for him.
true. I could do a performance. I could do a performance really quick.
Did you have a plan for your other actions? I mean, it's up to
I'm
you.
literally gonna throw up, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not literally going to. I shouldn't say that when it's me.
I thought that was the performance. You're just gonna throw up.
No.
Just
On him.
Screaming, I'm gonna
No,
throw up.
I, Emily Grace, am so nervous that but I'm not going. I'm not actually going to. But anyway.
I'm sure it would be captivating if you actually puked on him.
My brain is dead and I can't think of any like clever lines, but she is going to just do a quick like little tiny dance in honor of her fallen friends and make a performance check.
The music from Stomp the Yards just comes in.
Dance over our laying bodies.
I'm trying to bring you back to life.
She's invoking your spirits with her dance.
He just plays.
I'm trying to
Go ahead and
like,
roll it.
summon your power.
Go ahead and roll
Dancing
it.
on our graves.
Oh God, math. 18 plus 12 is 30. That's a
Hell
30.
yeah.
That's a success.
Awesome. So you have panache now, and he's
I have panache.
he's fascinated. Is that right? Or no? Am I wrong?
Yes, technically, but like,
That doesn't do anything.
it doesn't do much. I was about to roll 3d20s.
Do it. Do it anyway.
No.
I don't know why you would, but you're more than welcome to.
Finisher. This is a confident finisher.
Okay.
It's a natural 17 for 28.
That hits.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
3d6.
Yeah.
G, just lie and say max damage. Just lie and say max damage.
Well, I
What did
rolled a
Jack
6
just say about
before,
fudging
so
dice?
That's 14 points of damage.
Wow. 14 is huge.
Really good. Holy crap.
I rolled a 6 and 2 4s.
Oh my god, that's huge. What is this?
Okay.
What's happening? His phone is out. His telephone is out in his hand.
He's taking a picture of how much health.
If Hendred's at 1 HP, I'm gonna quit this game.
He's taking a picture of his current hit points before he takes the damage, but I don't know. He's doing something. I don't like it. There's something
I don't
weird
like it
going on.
either.
I don't trust him.
Just go ahead and take a look.
He had exactly 14 hit points. He had exactly 14 hit points.
You're kidding me.
Amazing. You're kidding.
What does your finisher look like?
Oh god.
I hate to put you on the spot because you look a little stressed, but
On finish.
This one, think my last really like big confident finisher on him, I like stabbed him in the taint.
you stabbed him through the leg. The one before that was the taint.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
This time I'm going full castration.
Yeah. Good.
With your piercing weapon.
It is versatile slashing.
Ah, I sit corrected.
And she's confident she can finish the job.
She's
Yeah.
very confident.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut his penis off.
Yeah, you just like slash through, uppercutting. You're not quite sure what's going on in there, because it's encased, but you're pretty sure that there's way more blood than there should be.
There's a lot of blood.
and everything is just running down the pants as he stumbles back, like trips over Gashak's unconscious body into the wall. He's just like sitting there smiling to himself. How many of them? How many of them can you save?
All of them.
Let's see. Oh. If you ever meet them, tell the Twilight Four to go fuck themselves. He just kind of like slumps to the side.
Third action, I'm gonna swing at the ghost.
Funny you should mention
with the ghost? Yeah, does the ghost like stick around?
What was this very clear image of these two children holding hands, like screeching? Their features like hard lines. They look almost like aged. Like if you take a look at this.
Scary artwork.
This is like supposed to be like an 8-year-old girl.
So you're describing them as children. I was confused because like they don't look anything like children. They're so scary.
Well, they're Noma's children, so these are tiny little figures, but they just look like their skin is pulled back. They have these sharp lines.
It's like haunting on dead picture.
They almost start to like do that like TV static fuzz kind of thing where their forms just begin to like fizzle. They're not gone, but the screeching stops, the moaning and crying stops, and they no longer are like moving. It's just this like static fizzled image there. We're staying in initiative.
I don't swing.
Well, they'd be here, right? One square over, adjacent to TT. So the ghosts are not threatening Tricotos at all.
It does not appear to be that way.
Okay. What can you do with your third action to potentially save anybody who might be dying?
My third action, I'm gonna come over here to Bastros. Oh no! My third action, I'm going to try to like stop the bleeding on I don't know.
Stabilize.
She's not a medicine person, and she doesn't have anything.
Are you trained in medicine?
No.
And I don't think there's anything you can do with the medicine skill. It would be if you have items on you. Untrained administer first aid is 2 actions, and you need to have healer's tools.
Okay.
You could potentially grab the healer's tools off of Dr. Forsyth.
Yeah, that's what I'll I'll grab the advanced healer's tools off of Dr. Forsyth
With an
for
action.
my last. With my last.
Does give you a +1 to medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It would have been Kashak's turn, but he's moved. It would have been the ghost's turn, but they don't seem to be doing anything at this moment. Bastro, go ahead and roll me a death saving throw.
Okay, heroic recovery, because a natural 6 will not save my ass.
That's
It would though. No?
Natural 6?
Oh no, it wouldn't. I'm putting first edition in my head.
this is
Never
not
mind. Never mind.
any number of games that we've played where low is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, heroic recovery, because I would have been at dying 4.
I'm 4.
Which would have been
But-
permanent death. Yeah.
Exactly. So avoiding that. So now I'm unconscious at 0 hit points. But so I'm just what is it?
You're
Stable.
stable.
I'm stable.
You're
Stable but unconscious.
Am I still wounded 3?
No. You were your heroic recovery. I'm pretty sure you removed.
You're wound. You remove.
No,
You remove wounded.
That's the whole benefit of that. Is that
Perfect.
you just really send it.
All right.
But
Shock.
you're at 0 hit points.
Yes.
Okay.
Kashak.
I'm dying 2 since I fell off the wall. So DC 12 recovery check. And if I succeed, it just moves my dying condition up to dying 1, right?
Correct.
19 on the die.
Oh my gosh.
Noise.
Twinkle toes.
I'm so scared to. Okay, so, using healer's tools, treating wounds is
You're-
2 actions untrained.
So you're doing an administer first aid.
Administer first aid.
What you're going to do
Right.
is you're going to attempt to stabilize them, attempting a medicine check, the DC of which is equal to 5 plus that creature's recovery roll DC, which at the moment is 11. So it's
So
16.
DC 16.
Okay.
So you have truthfully here, you have a higher chance of crit failing than you do of succeeding.
Yeah.
And if you crit
Okay,
fail, you
so
hurt
for what
me.
it's worth, if you
Or-
critical
or-
fail, you will increase the dying value by 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
potions? Are there any potions? Does anyone have anything?
That's my other thought.
Nobody
can
say
I look
anything.
around?
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything.
Natural 20.
Who gets the
Natural
answer?
20.
Does anyone actually have a healing potion?
I do not.
I have 1 minor.
I don't have any.
I have none.
I grab the 1 minor, and I pour it into Bastro's mouth.
No.
Bastro can heal, theoretically.
Bastro can heal.
Okay.
Yes. So is it my turn now?
No.
Wait, how would it
My-
help you? Oh, because
my-
he's stable and I'm
You've
not.
got one more action.
Yeah. My third action, I'm going to pass the healer's tools to Bastro and say, Kushak needs help, please!
Bastard's just gonna drop the healer's tools and be like, look at Dr. Forsyth. These are worthless. And he's gonna take out a scroll and he's gonna cast a 2-action heal on Kashak. And that's 100% what Bastro says. 100%. You guys, we're entering
I love it. I love it. No, it's awesome. It's just
Bastard
so.
just saw someone he looked up to highly, like, die in front of him.
It's
and
so jarring. I love it.
yeah,
It's
no,
amazing.
like it's gonna change him for sure, like 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I love that.
Wow.
so yeah, Bastro immediately he grabs he'll like hold the healer tools for a second, look at them and just drop them, and then take out the scroll and be like, these are useless, and just like cast the 2-action heal on Kashak.
Where is your lack of God now?
Wow. Oh wait, I love that so much actually. Wow.
So I take some healing and I.
Yeah, so you get automatically 8 points, and then you get another 1d8, so you can roll that.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, cool.
We're out of initiative. We're out of combat, out of encounter mode. As you all are kind of recovering and regaining your senses, you hear this like faint pop coming from where the ghostly image was fluctuating and fizzling. And you see now, instead of this like grotesque, like sickly green twins, you see these kind of palish blue, white, I don't want to say normal because they are obviously ghosts, but average looking gnomish children who are both just staring down at the corpse of Hendred Pratchett. And then they kind of look to each other, and you just hear under the breath, I don't think he was our father. I don't know this man. And then you see the older of the, or well, not older, the taller of the two, kind of looks over his shoulder, turns around, brings the girl with him, reaches out his hand, and you just watch as they're lifted up and drift out. Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Twinkle Toes is currently like cradling Dr. Forsythe's head in her lap and just like crying. It's crying.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He's got a number of things on him, some of which you have seen, which seemed to have been important to him. He has a ring.
I take that.
What looks to be the symbol, or what was the holy symbol of Eredin, is on it.
Mm-hmm.
The healer's tools, also where Bastro dropped them on the ground. You see now a tattered leather journal has fallen out and is like resting up against his leg.
Also, I just want to really quickly point out, you also see 20 gold and 20.51 gold. Just want to put that out there for the party.
Of equal importance to the ring.
I'll record that. We can do it later. Kashak is still.
Say what you just said again, Will. I missed it.
Of equal importance to the ring, the money.
Yeah, I said the things that were important to him, and then you came in with the gold, and I was like, yes, of equal importance to the ring.
Kashak is waking up from like unconsciousness. He's still kind of delirious. He's still kind of in battle mode, and so he like scrambles over to Hendred,
claws the shit out of Twinkletoes on the way.
Sees him has stumbled over there in his kind of death throes, and just like you see his shoulders like relax and his body just like falls apart as he like slumps in a heap and sits in the doorway that's like next, like on the other side of where Hendred is, and he is just like staring at the ground in the same way he stared at Hendred, and the same kind of laser focus that he had for everything else. He is like, his mind is still turning and working as he's just like figuring out what to do next.
Pastor wants to observe the table on. Pastor wants to observe the body on the table. Is it in any way like savable?
No.
Like, is it a corpse?
No.
It's just a corpse.
It looks to be a cadaver. It looks almost like he was doing a like a medical autopsy of it. So you can see like its liver is currently sitting out on the slab next to it.
Ah, got it.
He has removed like the rib cage entirely, like the outward facing section of the rib cage entirely to access. The like arms are like split down the inside and like opened and flayed outwards, so that you can see all of like the tendons and ligaments that have been like pinned, so that they're like a little bit separate, so you can really see everything running down the limbs. Like, truly, like, a scary degree of precision.
Yeah. Attention to detail, I'm sure, is, like, shocking.
I think Bastro's just gonna put his hands on that slab for a few minutes, and then he'll stand back up, undo the bandolier that was holding his healer tools, let it drop to the floor, and he'll just walk over to this desk over here and sit down in the chair, and just kind of, just like literally just looking away from everyone, just like trying to gather his own thoughts.
After a couple of minutes, Kashak will walk over to where Twinkletoes is just cradling Dr. Forsyth. Is he...
He's gone.
He fought well. He was not a soldier. He was not a ranger. He was just a man with a very special set of skills, but he handled his own in combat. He was a great
good
source of
friend.
help. A fantastic friend, as you said. I can take him so we could give him a proper burial.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm about as big as his arm, so...
Yeah, I believe that's sort of why I'm here, is for things like this. And sort of like the most gently you've ever seen Kashak do anything, he will take like multiple seconds to do this. Run his arms underneath of the body of Dr. Forsyth and just like haul him over his shoulder. Kind of like fireman's carry over his shoulder. And we'll start to walk over to Bastro as well. Anything in the desk we should be aware of here, Bastro? Anything?
Bastro, like, at first doesn't even like hear you. He wasn't even looking in the desk. He's just sitting at the desk, and then he'll like kind of snap back to reality. Hold on, let me flip through it, I suppose. And is there anything? Should I roll perception for looking through the desk?
There are a couple of drawers, but they appear to be locked.
I take out the keys, the big key ring, see if any of them fit.
No, these are much smaller than, like, door keys.
I'll go over to Hendred's body and look for, and just loot it. I'm looting his body completely. I put his dick in a sack. I'm taking it.
Fair enough.
Do we have a sack of thumbs or something?
We left that with the
yeah,
red
it was a bag full of severed
pinkies.
left-hand pinkies from the red cap.
From the red cap, yeah. Right.
I just want to really quick look at this bottle opener, okay?
Very cool.
It's a kunai.
Thank you.
Little kunai bottle opener.
Thank you.
On Pratchett himself, he's got his, obviously his sword cane, both the sword and the sheath. He's got an armored coat, basically like this thick leather duster. It functions as leather armor, but it is of a coat variety. He's got 3 lesser healing potions.
I take one of those and then put the other, or one of them in my bandolier, and then hand off the other one to whoever needs it.
And then he's also got another one of the corpse ward pendants that you've already found.
Hey.
You do find a small little keyring on him.
I take that, and I go over to the desk. And
Simple
I
enough.
unlock the doors.
Yep.
I check to see if they're trapped first.
Perception is plus 10?
Plus 8.
Plus 8. As far as you're aware, they're not trapped.
I unlock the doors of the desk.
Okay. You find
like while Twinkle Toes is doing all of this, she's like, her face is like pretty blank, but there are still tears just like running, and she's just like every once in a while just like brushing them away and like trying to focus on what she's doing.
Trying to keep cool, trying to keep it all kind of together. Yeah.
You find 4 vials of some alchemical nature. It looks to be 2 vials of 2 different substances each. You find a lockbox, currently unlocked, or unlockable, I should say, with the keys. In it, you find 70 gold in assorted denominations.
It's money. It's not jewels.
Just money.
Yeah.
Right.
Just straight cash. That's about it for this room.
4 alchemical vials and some money.
Yeah. You could assume that most of the good stuff he has either sold or was wearing.
Yeah.
Not to mention the ring, the journal, and the 20 gold and various other accoutrements from Dr. Forsyth.
Can I set perception the bed area that's next to the desk while they're kind of going through that? On, in, around, all around
sure,
kind of like
perception.
Space. 22 perception on that.
It's almost Spartan, in the fact that it's like a straw mattress, a like unkempt woolen, almost threadbare blanket. It looks like he slept here often, but didn't get much sleep. It seemed like he was more focused on other things besides self-care.
Just want to double check to make sure I got everything. Sword, cane, and sheath, leather armor coat, corpse sword pendant, 3 lesser healing potions, the key ring, 70 gold, 4 vials of 2 different things. Is there anything else in the desk?
That was all I had to. It's all on our sheet also.
Yeah.
Lit. Okay.
And then the stuff from Dr. Forsyth, if you want to take it.
And then the stuff from Dr.
Kind of,
well, I take everything, including the healing potion, or the healing tools that both of them have like...
We're clearing this room out, and we're gonna...
Yeah.
Kashak will, once, everybody seems to be clear that everything's done, Kashak will take Dr. Forsyth's body, and I think it's best if we head back to Desmond's house and see if we can speak with Desmond and Isabella. We seem to have found a lot of the locations of the missing peoples, and it's probably best to regroup in that way.
Kashak, you lift his body up off the ground and hear the faint hit of paper on the ground behind you. You turn around and it appears that a piece of parchment has fallen out.
This is from Forsyth's body?
Forsyth's pocket, yeah.
He'll pick it up, but he'll hand it to somebody else. Can anybody see
Yeah, Bastard will pick it up.
I'm sorry, I can't read.
I literally cannot read. Yeah, I cannot read.
Bastard will pick
So you're
up the
saying it was a
paper.
good read on me that you can't read?
Wow, how would I know how to read? I don't know.
You speak common, I don't know.
I figured it out, I guess. I don't know.
Not from reading.
Yeah, not from reading.
Um,
Yeah, he'll hand it to Bastro. And
Yeah, Bastard picks up paper or takes it.
I have his journal that was also as well.
And Bastard will read the paper.
or at least look at the paper.
Bastra, what you find is it looks like a piece of Forsyth's medical journal that he would keep with him and document all of his patients on. But when you sort of first look at it, you're like, this is not anything medical. This is almost like a diary entry. And you see that like appended to it, there's something attached to the back that looks to be much older script. The first piece of parchment you read is labeled 4720 AR, which is the current year. And it says, Dear Firin, I do not know what lies ahead inside of this dreaming palace. All of the information from the House of Plains seems to lead us to no other conclusion than that this place is the source of our answers. I do fear what atrocities it may hold, though these fears are assuaged by my companions. Though they are different than when we began. My friend Shark is locked up. I owe him a visit once we get out of here to check on his condition. And his brother, whom I did find odd, but am increasingly fascinated by religious zealots. They may be foolish, but they're true to their cause, and he was no exception. Firin, you would like Bastro. He is naive, but his good heart and commitment to his friends is unmatched by all. One day he will be a great doctor or healer or whatever he sets his mind to. I simply would urge him to focus on his studies and focus less on his faith. Kashak's strength is fearsome and his loyalty is even more so. I don't know if I've ever met someone so dedicated while being so imposing at the same time. I am confident with these two we will overcome all obstacles that may lie ahead of us. Firin, I know I've written to you extensively about Twinkletoes and how I am yet still conflicted about my handling of the pagoda. The uncertainty I bear over my emotions is put to rest by her incessant positivity and pure altruism. I greatly misjudged her. She is now who I look to for leadership in this group, and who I should let guide me through whatever dangers lie ahead of us. My extensive rationalization will always lose to her good nature. I know she will lead our party well. Firin, I am trying to be kind, just as you said. I tried to take an oath, but I struggle every day with the weight of what I know. The secrets the gods carry, that they withhold from the world, it weighs on me like a tumor agitating the body. At least you believed me, Firin. I will always know that. At least you believed me. Until I write to you again, Firin. Love, Fears. And then it sort of trails off, and it's clear that like this page was flipped back and forth several times with the appended page behind it. And you flip to it, and it's this older parchment. I mean, it feels like if you were too rough with it, it would crumble in your hands. And it's labeled at the top 4606 AR.
Cool.
Almost 100 years prior to the current date. And it reads, Dear Veers, my pain without you has not ceased. I found your writings beneath the Temple of Eridan and have tried to study what I can, especially those since the sickness first took you. But Veers, I struggle to understand what you're writing. You speak of a great storm that will shake the world, the end of prophecy, and then the return of Eridan. Return is underlined several times. Veers, Eridan is not dead. He is not gone. Eridan mourns as I do for the loss of you, a true follower, a true believer. Veers, I do not understand. The other clerics mock these writings as ravings of a madman, and it hurts to see you cast out while I still hold on to you so dearly. I'm scared, Veers. It has been raining for what feels like over a week, and with violent thunder and lightning nearly every night. Is this what you meant, Veers? What happened to you, Veers? What happened to you? What took you away from me, from the world? I'm haunted still by your memory. It feels as though you're not truly gone, but calling to me each night, Veers. I'm awoken and I feel the need to sneak to the top of the Temple of Eridan and watch the sun rise just as we used to do. I would see you there waiting for me with your radiant smile, your spectacles sliding down your face as you would come embrace me while the sun greets us over the horizon. I miss you, Xavier. Signed, Fear and Perish.
Anyone who would like to can roll a knowledge religion on that.
22.
24.
24. Both of you being either religiously astute or from Absalom might recognize that this was the name Fearin Parish. He was one of the last recorded. He was one of the clergy of the Temple of Eridan on the day that Eridan died. He's one of the last scholars of Eridan, as such. And because of what happened, once he lost his clerical powers, he became a renowned explorer of the Eye of Abendago, which was the massive unmoving hurricane that was left in the wake after the 3-week storm of leading up to the death of Eridan. So.
Wow.
You all collect your things, begin to make your way out. You have a monitor lizard staring back at you, Kashak.
Yeah, Kashak will definitely pay attention to that. He's got Kashak over one shoulder, but he's still taking sure to see this creature and look at it and again try to slowly approach it and take whatever chain is around its neck or whatever might be a leash of some kind.
You all had broken the bindings that it had, but if you wanted to rig a rope or something, it wouldn't be too difficult. It does not appear to be weary of your presence any longer after your successful
He'll
checks.
speak to it in Iruxi, in his home language, and he'll just kind of say something along the lines of, "Come, it's okay, it's all right, come on now." Those kind of words you would use for pets in Iruxi language.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Iruxi.
But yeah,
it's the only phrase he knows in Iruxi.
And walk out with this creature if you can.
Everyone go ahead and roll me a perception check as you are now back in the shrine room. I'm assuming nobody has moved their token in a while. So.
I'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, 22.
22? Everybody else?
14.
14?
21.
21?
Yeah.
From your north here, from the other side of this door, you hear very faintly, you all missed this the first time around, the sound of almost sounds like something slashing across metal, like rattling of metal or banging of metal coming from the other side of this door right here. And that is where we're going to go ahead and take a quick 15-minute break. We'll be right back here at 8:40 p.m. Thanks so much for joining us.
See y'all soon.
We'll be back here in a bit.
Stick around.